Great Place to Study offers a really powerful diagnostic tool, a 360-degree evaluation of the community and their opinions that, from my perspective as a former head of school, really allowed me to understand much more deeply and more concretely what the community was looking for and needed most. So it was really powerful for us as a community, not just because it showed us what we were doing right and doing well, but it also helped us to identify areas that needed improvement. And I think, a lot of educators do really beautiful improvement work just from their hunches, just from their instinct about what's good and what's working, and from occasional surveys of parents and things like that and students. But what we found was that this full 360-degree evaluation and the kinds of things that the questions were looking at really allowed us as a school to gather concrete data that showed us where we needed to work and what our goals needed to be. So they provided us with key performance indicators and then data connected to them that came from our students, our faculty, our parents, all the stakeholders involved in the school. And that really provoked extraordinary growth for the school, and growth that wasn't just based on instincts and hunches, but that was based on true data.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome our viewing audience today to another session in our Ed Talk series, especially a super warm welcome to all of those from Colombia that are with us today, from Cali, from Colegio Alemán. Woohoo! So happy to have you all. I am Andrea Ferrari, founder and CEO at Whole Schools, and with my partner, Gabriela Gonzalez Pacheco, Director of Programs, we've created this innovative space to inspire conversations around education during these unprecedented times. Yes, education is transforming, and at Whole Schools, we believe that well-being, happiness, equity, and innovation are the keys to a change that is sustainable, that is future-proof, and that can face the challenges of the short and the long-term consequences. This is why we gather here. We bring on board with us educational experts, educational leaders, opinion leaders that will share with us their international perspectives to guide our educational communities as we co-construct the new landscape in education. And today we are super honored to have a school leader with heart, Leonardo Paz, who is an IB teacher, also a Microsoft innovation educator, and alongside one of his students, he's a senior, Nicolas Plata, yes, senior and president of the School Student Council, who has served 5 consecutive years in the council. And today they're here together to speak to us about the importance of such a program and how this has sustained us, especially during these very challenging and difficult times. So I want to welcome you all. A big hello from Mexico City all the way to Colombia. Hello, Leo. Hello, Nico.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Gabi. How are you? Nico, well, thanks for being here as well.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure for us to share, our thoughts about this new program that we implemented.
The pleasure is all ours, and without further ado, we want to listen to the voice of students. It's so exciting to have you here, Nico. Maybe you can give us some idea about the program, what it's about, what are its objectives, and the question goes out to the both of you, of course.
Okay, so basically, I had a conversation with Leo, and during this conversation, he told me lots of schools have not implemented this figure of trusted teacher or the teacher of the student council. And, you know, when he told me that, it came to my mind this question about why my school has it and why other schools don't. And this program is about someone who is really, passionate and involved in social change and involved in social development, who will help the students to get new tools to solve problems, So this is basically a tool, the most useful tool for students when resolving problems and answering questions about all this social environment in the schools. That is basically what I can say about this program.
Can I just say that for being at the German school in Colombia, your English is impeccable, and you have articulated such a great response. What a great way to look at this program. Thank you for sharing that. And maybe Leo, you want to pitch in with the teacher's perspective, which is also super interesting.
Teacher's perspective. Well, let me show you something. It's funny because our school they start learning English from 5th grade to 12th grade. So, and I mean, it's incredible how they develop this skill when they get to 12th grade. I just wanted to add that there. Well, listen, well, we mentioned, and when we discuss it, well, we have the name in Spanish and the name in German, which I'm going to be honest with you, I can't pronounce because it's a really complicated word. And it's a really complicated word. And I wanted to add that, well, we had come up with a name between you and I, Andrea. We said student council teacher, and Nicolas changed it and he put it trusted teacher. And you know what? His name, I actually liked it better than the one I had thought of. So I want to thank him for that idea, first of all. The idea of the program is to have a teacher that mediates among students and mediates among students and teachers. Why? We need somebody to help our students, guide them, to let them how to confront with problems at school. If they have a conflict with the teacher, they come to me and they talk to me, and then we sit down and we find a solution. And this type of dialogue involvement helps the students, first of all, to be able to confront the problems, clarify what's wrong or what they like or what they don't like. And it gives them that security that they have somebody on their side, listening to them and supporting them. That's basically the function of it. And I had never seen that in any other educational system. I know that they use it in some German schools around the world and in Germany. So it was something that was brought here by an old school principal that we had that left already. And it has been great. It has just only given us benefits.
Leo, is this, I don't know, I'm asking you and Nicolas, but is this been something about helping students feel empowered within the school? Because as you said, it teaches them how to problem solve, but it also makes them feel that they have a voice and that they can have an impact on what's happening at school and things that are, troubling them. Is that correct?
Yeah, it empowers them. And the idea of like the student council teacher is, well, he's in charge of running the student council. And I'll tell you guys something. Hey, I'm the teacher, but I'll be honest with you, you're just a guide there. These kids are autonomous. They're independent. I mean, they're hardworking and they do all of this by themselves. But then you come in as a teacher and you guide them. Remember, you guys want to do this and you got to send the email to the principal. Remember, it's a formal writing and they do it by themselves. You just give them the little tips and they automatically do everything, which is incredible. But
I wanted to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, so I see it from another perspective because Leo is a guide, he helps us, but we empower ourselves, we do all the job and we look forward and we look after the students. So the power we get is from ourselves. I am grateful with Leo. I don't want to sound rude, but he's a guide. He guides us into a good path, but the real power is in us,
That's an amazing way to honor Leonardo. We do know that he's a leader with heart, and I think that's what you're describing, how he's enabled you or helped you to foster the skills. I understand, Nicolas, that you're going to be in university soon, and I'm super curious to know this student council. It truly gives you an opportunity to foster skills that you will need at university, correct? I mean, you talked about leadership. Leo mentioned communication. I'm sure there's a lot about teamwork. How have you felt these skills developing in terms of how they're going to help you entering your university life, or even, you know, skills for life, for the workforce as well?
Great question, because I have my interviews next month, and I think this student council has helped me to, you know, get confidence, communication skills, and another really good thing that I get from it is critical thinking, because we have to solve problems. So we have to, you know, think through an inclusive perspective, taking care of everyone in the school. And SEDECA, or well, that's how we call a student council in my school, SEDECA, that's how it's called.
Nice.
So SEDECA is one of the tools students have to, you know, care about other students. So this social involvement is one of the things that really, you know, comes with this idea of, you know, well, helping others. And in the time that you go to university, that is really appreciated by the universities and colleges.
And I would like to add here a little bit. In our student council, you know, we promote democracy because these kids, they're voted to be part of their student council. Everybody on, we have a board of directors, and these kids have organized that, you know, our Nico, we're losing Nico because he's going to a better place. He's going to the university basically. But, you know, we have been fostering and promoting smaller kids from 7th grade that are part of the board of directors, and they're already listening to these older kids take decisions, lead, you know, create events. So we don't lose it. It's just a continuous growing, you know, process that doesn't stop at our school, which is great. We have the support also from, you know, our principal and our coordinators, which is vital for this to happen, because our program is organized. We have our yearly calendar, our meetings, which is about once a month, are already established prior. You know, the teachers can't even interfere. So our meetings are basically untouchable. And we, you know, sorry, teacher, you planned an exam, but you got to change it for this kid because he's part of the student council and he has a meeting.
It sounds like to me that the whole community is involved, and I would love to hear a little bit more, because typically, and when we were in school, right, Leo, Gabby, and that was way back when, the school community, I know that reaching out for community projects was important, and raising funds and school-wide events. How in the world has this come to be in this day and age with COVID? I mean, doing it from the house and remotely, how has this role changed for you, Nicolas? You must be, you know, an expert and can give so much advice to those out there listening to us.
Well, it's been difficult because all our planning was rescheduled and replanned, you know, because we have in our school the SEDECA Day, that is one day that we use to, you know, play with the kids and promote social activity within and among all the grades. And we have another thing called the SEDECA tournament, that is a soccer tournament, and we raise funds from it. And this year we basically forget about all the raising funds because it is really hard for us to really get organized on these staff things and these technical things to raise funds. But we have tried to create spaces within students to promote social activity and social development. So we have implemented in an Instagram account, an activity through Instagram to know what the students want and what the students need. We also have create new communication sources, such as official emails from school, or different things that have helped us to get it to touch these kids that try to reach us for help. So that's basically what we have done.
Hey, let me ask you, Nico,
difficult.
Here, that you forgot. These kids created this year a frequently asked question, a survey form, and they created for the whole students. And students had any problems or any comments, and they send them the form. The board of directors gets them, and these kids with the information have actually taken measures. There was a kid that probably mentioned he felt sad, and they actually went and they spoke to this kid online. The student council didn't stop. The meetings are virtual, and it's because they wanted to complete it. We have a WhatsApp group, actually two. We have the whole student council, and then we have the board of directors WhatsApp group. I mean, so the communication throughout the whole situation didn't stop. It just basically we had to adapt and move. But these kids did it this way. We don't even have a frequently asked question or support questions as teachers, and they have it.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I want to add something.
Yes, go, Nicolas.
I'm sorry.
No,
Leo said that. Okay. Leo said that we have implemented these things for communicate with the kids, but I want to add something that will give Leo some credit, because he gives us big ideas about this. Like he was the one who said, kids, you gotta change. You gotta come from what was presential to what is virtual right now. And he was the one who promotes all these spaces and these new challenges for us. So, I wanted to thank you, Leo, and also show the importance of this trusted teacher figure at school.
Thanks, Nico.
I think that what Nicolas is saying, Leo, is super important. No, we as educators need to be able to just help people respond, because I think education is a position of leadership, and in that position of leadership, and it's something that very likely, Nicolas and all his classmates in the student council are learning, is that when you are in that position of leadership, what you do matters, and how you respond to a situation that is unprecedented, that is difficult, but you respond adapting, you respond creatively, you respond in a way that it helps you deal with it and move on, instead of just being in crisis because of it and just freezing, which is what tends to happen. And I think that's part of the skills that we're talking about, that we need kids, especially when they get to university, Nicolas, or much further ahead, when you're in the workforce and you're just creating your own future, is that you are able to cope with whatever life throws at you. Exactly. So this sounds like an amazing way of achieving that.
Yeah, it's just basically a lot of teamwork. It's a lot of, support from all sides, because, even the parents know. I'll give you a little insight. When they choose the student council teacher, or Nico's name, trusted teacher, if you want to run for it as a teacher, you run yourself and you go tell them, okay, guys, I want to be the teacher. Or they can go and ask a teacher, hey, look, teacher Pepito, we think we like you. Would you like to be the student council teacher? And the teacher can accept or decline. These kids actually vote for you after you have given them a speech. Okay, so it's full democracy. You're taking them to real life situation, and you're there for 2 years. But, and then, the school sends a memo for everybody. Look, this is the new student council teacher. This is the new board of directors from the student council. And, we're actually given that respect and shown to the community, and the community sees it. And I think that's also important, the community to be involved, not only the teachers, the students. It's a whole parent, teacher, we even have shirts. Well, this year we didn't have them, but we have shirts that we wear at school, and it's a t-shirt with the, the logo and the name or whatever they decide. And, but it's theirs. They earned that.
Well, it adds to the feeling of belonging, right? Of working towards one same goal, of being part of a bigger sort of mission, and that you're committed to, and you show it and you wear it with pride. It talks a lot about pride. And speaking of qualities, I would love to just give you some of the things that I see in you, Nicolás Plata. You display a very positive outlook. I'm sure that you are a role model for so many in your school. And thinking about the qualities, I'm sure there are all these students looking now and thinking, asking themselves, well, if I wanted to get to the president of the student council, what would be some of the qualities that make a good sedeca? So as you call yourself, what is it that you first and foremost need to have in order to be in this position? Because I see the positivity, the good role modeling, the flexibility, a genuine interest, right, in the welfare of others. You talked about that. You talked about empathy. Let's give the question back to you now, and to Leo, and see if we can come up with some of these qualities that outline what a great Sedeca is about.
Okay, I would love to answer the question first, saying that I don't like the stereotype of a good student, of good grades, someone who, always is the great kid in the class and he always do the right thing, because we have a lot of phases, and we have a lot of things in our lives. So or the person who wants to run for the president of the student council must be someone really passionate about social development, someone really involved and conscious about what the students need and what the students want. That to be the council is not always to be the coolest kid. That's a really important thing that I wanted to say, because a lot of kids in my school say, I don't get elected because I'm not the coolest kid, or I don't get the.
Okay, well, let me add an adjective there. You need somebody trustworthy, because Nicolás gets invited, and Nicolás participates in meetings where I don't even go. He goes to the whole board of directors, and they talk about budget. They talk about conflicts, and he gets to listen to it, and he has voice and vote as a student. So you need somebody that's trustworthy, that has that he knows logical, that is mature, to help and promote all this decision making that affect the school positively or negatively. That's something that we have to keep in mind. You need somebody trustworthy. Responsibility, it's a must. But you also have to be open-minded, and you have to be, well, I think Andrea mentioned it, caring and compassionate, because you're working and helping. You're not getting paid for this. They do this in their free time, and we sometimes work overtime at night. We chat during class because we need to solve problems. Like we had yesterday, we were on meetings for like 3 hours independently solving a situation at school. And they miss class and they got to go back and do the work. It's not like they get a free pass.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes I talk to Leo like every day long, every day. So at night, in the morning is something that you do at every time, like it's not that you do it for recognition, you do it just for the better of the community. And you don't care about the time you spend. It's just like, it's something that you feel inside that is a responsibility.
But Leo and Nicolas, could I ask, I think it has to do with something that the school promotes in all students, right? I mean, I understand that, of course, whoever gets elected will have to have these qualities, but I would imagine that would be the bigger goal for the school, is for all students to have this profile of caring and social commitment. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to find people to fill those positions, or who are willing to participate in that type of process, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Leo, in the experience, in Colegio Alemán, when you're talking about a well-rounded student, it goes beyond academics and more towards this type of profile. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly. You're correct. And we're an IB school. And if you know the IB profile, basically our students from kindergarten are focused on that. Basically
Yeah.
these kids inquire, they're open-minded, they're critical. And it's basically, we teach that throughout the whole 12 years at school.
Leo,
And it's, yes, ma'am.
excited that you brought up the attributes of the IB, because I've been thinking about them this entire time, trying to resolve which one would be more close, but there is one that is my favorite of all of them. And I'm going to describe it and then see if you can guess it. But it's when the student or the individual, the learner, does the right thing even when no one is looking. And to be that kind of person and to have that integrity, it's this one particular IB attribute that I see reflected in you and the things that you're saying. It's just a very principled way of being this Sedeka role model. I'm very excited that you linked it to IB, because it makes all the sense in the world that this is fostered from a very tender age. Guys, we have about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. So to wrap up our conversation of the evening tonight, 2 things. One, if we have comments from the audience, we would love to hear them, read them out. Sometimes we get questions. And 2, I would like to give you the opportunity to speak out to the people watching if they were interested in establishing a student council in their schools. What might be a good way to begin? What would be some of the first steps for somebody who's completely new to this, right?
Nico, you want to go?
Okay, I will go first if you want.
Yeah.
So this is a hard question, but my advice would be to ensure the participation of, a conscious and socially involved teacher, someone who really looks after the students, a trusted teacher. As I just said, is not always the coolest teacher, but he's the one who will tell you not what you want to hear, but sometimes what you want to, what you need, like he's the one that, will tell you and will give you advice on what you need and not what you want and what you want. So he or she is precisely the person who can help you to get out the comfort zone and think outside the box. So for me, in my own experience, that is Leo. That is this figure of the trusted teacher, and it's really important. So if you are starting this up, I hope you find different teachers that are involved, and you just have to hear them out and have. Oh, another thing is the confidence you have with the teacher. that is really important, because you're gonna get his phone number, you're gonna get really in touch with that person, and you're gonna trust that person. So you have to really select a teacher that is involved and confidence, and you know, bonding with the students. That's my advice.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicolas. Now over to you, Leo. Thank you very much.
You know, it was funny because I was thinking something completely different, and Nico just changed my whole idea, you know. But you mentioned something, trust and confidence. And you know what? They have to trust the teacher, but the teacher also has to trust them, because let me tell you something. Sometimes we have discussions that are completely private and that could probably even get me in trouble at school. And you know what? They're so mature and serious that it's a discussion and it's clear, you know. And you know, that's what changed my whole speech. But what would I promote? Democracy. It has to be a democratic situation, but it has to be promoted. Can't be promoted just from a teacher. It has to be promoted from the whole community and from the leaders of the community. Because if you don't have the support from the leaders, then it's not going to continue going. You know, you have to have some recognition for the students, for the teacher. You know, you have to have some standards, some rules. For example, I'm the student council teacher for 2 years, and every 2 years they got to vote for someone else. Well, they voted for me like 3 times already, Nico. I've been 6 years. Yeah, 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's just, that's the way it has just been.
That's amazing.
Well, I think that there might be many other questions, I'm sure, as people connect to this and give you feedback. So we'll be, of course, sharing with you through our channel. We're so happy to have had you today. As we wrap it up, I know that Gabriela and I, we feel really, really strong about student voice, because we know that your voices are unrelenting and clear, and you know how to proclaim your power to create a more fair, a more just society, a more caring and more inclusive world. And so we really congratulate you for your efforts, and we thank you for having been with us, Nico, Leo, and we hope this gives back to the communities out there that are listening to us today.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And if they have any questions, they can always contact you, and you can email them, and we will help them for sure. That's the idea.
Excellent. Well, count on that. A big hug from Mexico City all the way.
All right, thank you.
Con todo nuestro amor. We love you guys.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.